Hey guys, are you ready to learn about properties and changes? This is going to be one of my favorite units. I'm excited that you're going to be here with me. So properties are characteristics of matter that are used to describe or identify a substance. And we're going to talk more about these in just a little while. So a physical property are characteristics that describe the physical state of something. We could say whatever the item's mass is it magnetic, what its temperature is, what its density is, its shape, its volume, and whether it can conduct electricity or not. All right, physical change. A physical change is something that happens to a substance when it changes, but it remains the same substance. So we've got some examples here. We've got something that could be cut, bent, folded, melted, froze, things like that. The important thing to remember with a physical change is that these things are easily reversible. So take this piece of paper, for instance. It's a very festive one. It says, fa la 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 la. Yes, Christmassy. If I took this piece of paper and I folded it, it's still a piece of paper. I haven't changed it into a new substance. I just changed what it may look like, okay? So I could take this piece of paper and I could tear it. It's still paper, right? I didn't turn it into something new. We still have paper. It's the same piece of paper. It just looks different, okay? We don't really have to reverse it, but if we wanted to, I guess we could tape them together and reverse it. You know what I mean? So this is what we mean by physical change. So if you think physical change, think something that is easily reversible. Okay, here we have a chemical property. A chemical property is a characteristic that allows a substance to undergo a change that results in a new substance. So this is going to be the opposite of a physical property. So some examples of this might be something that's flammable. It could react with oxygen. It could give off light, or when you put it in water, it might fizz. Could have a strong odor, an unexpected color change, or produce heat or light. If you see things like this, you might know that you have a chemical property. All right, here we have a chemical change. A chemical change is a substance that changes and becomes a completely new substance. This is not easily reversible. Here we have metals. Most elements on our periodic table are metals. Metals are going to be shiny, solid, malleable, and good conductors. So a nonmetal is going to be an element that's not shiny, it's not malleable, and it's a poor conductor of heat and electricity. These things are going to be more like your gases or your brittle solids on that periodic table. So metalloids are pretty cool. A metalloid would be something in between a metal and a nonmetal. They have properties of both. They might be a semiconductor, meaning they might kind of let electricity through or maybe let a little bit of heat through. But the cool thing about metalloids is they have characteristics of both. Makes them a little bit confusing, but kind of neat all at the same time. So here we're going to talk about some of the words that we use to describe those metals, those nonmetals, and those metalloids. The first one we're going to use is luster. So luster is simply the way a surface reflects light. We might say that something looks metallic or non-metallic, and then a little bit further we would say it's shiny, silky, dull, glassy, or resinous. Those are a few words that we would use. So here I have a coffee cup. So you might look at this coffee cup and think, that looks like it could be made of metal. And if you're thinking that, then this would be metallic. So this would be metallic, and I would say maybe kind of shiny. I don't know. What do you think? So let's look at my coaster right here. Does my coaster look like it's made of metal? Not really. So this one would be non-metallic, and I would say that it's kind of dull. It's not shiny at all. The light's not reflecting off of it. Does that kind of make sense? I hope so. Next, we're going to talk about conductivity. And conductivity, I'm sure you already have talked about in your other science classes. So really what this means is the ability of a substance to transfer heat or electricity. So if something is metal, your chances are it's going to conduct electricity. Electricity will move through it pretty easily. If it's, say, maybe wood, like this pencil, that's going to be not very conductive to heat or electricity. Okay, here we have an insulator. This is the opposite of a conductor. An insulator is a material that does not conduct heat or electricity. So here's my wooden pencil. This one would be an insulator because it does not conduct heat or electricity. Next we have ductility. This one's kind of fun to say. Ductility is the ability to be shaped and pulled into a wire. So quite a few of your metals might have this property. They might have ductility because they are spread and pulled and stretched into a wire. So next we have malleability. This is another fun one to say. Malleability is the ability to be hammered or rolled into thin sheets. So you could think of maybe gold and how gold can be squished and hammered and melted down or whatever and turned into coins without breaking. That's malleability. Other things might do the same thing. Last but not least, we're going to talk about being brittle. So brittle is the tendency to break rather than flex or bend. So here's my pencil again. If I squished on this pencil, pushed right here in the middle, do you think that this pencil is going to break or is it going to bend? I hope you said break, because if I'm not going to break it because I like it. But if I did pull on it this way, it's going to break. So this pencil would be brittle.